Hello, traders. This is Andy with Trade Ideas. Let me know when you can hear me and see my screen. Oh, alert on Hertz. Is that pulling back to a? All right. Hi, Trader 77. Hi, Peppy. How are you? Hertz is pulling back to the breakout level, but yeah, no. If that was earlier in the day, I would do it. But no, everybody's trying to call me. All right, guys. Welcome to the support webinar. I'm filling in for Dan today, since I'll be off Friday. Hey, Raja, how you doing? Okay, hold on just a minute. My dog just walked in here, and I don't want him bothering me. All right, sorry about that. All right, this is once again the support webinar. If you have any questions about the software, just be sure to drop a question in the YouTube chat there, and I will do my best to answer it. And other than that, we'll talk. Markets is really strong. Can't stop it. And while we're waiting on some questions to come in, we can talk about the market. Let's pull up the spies. Obviously, there's not a whole lot to say when you're at all-time highs. It's just a grind. We haven't had a bar reversal in like what 7 days. Crazy. Uh, can't even get a bar. Now, Q's we did have a bar reversal yesterday, but digging in and fighting back today. All right, what am I doing? I think you guys know I was kind of playing around with that Apple, thinking it was gonna. It's wound up pretty tight, was gonna break. So I am an Apple going back to this day. Actually, I think before that, I think I added some to kind of screw up my price there. Been in Amazon for a very long time, so hopefully it's going to get going today. But uh, Amazon, Asan, something I'm just playing it for a potential, uh, maybe a short squeeze or bottom fishing here. Needs to get back above its 3-day high and take out this 20 period moving average. This is one I'll definitely keep tight if it doesn't work. You can see I've tried it a few times. DKNG I've been in for kind of a long time, small size now. GFAI, kind of a robotic AI company that just definitely a spec play. It see if it can have a move since the AI stocks are strong, but nothing going on there. No, no, it's hard to jump in anything. I came in long some stuff. I did jump in some stuff today, but uh most of the stuff I bought like in pre-market on the, Mara. I was bought that and I've been trading. This has been one of my best traders lately, just buying it when it comes down because it was really lagging, really lagging. Riot, Clean Spark, these things were getting close to like a breakout high, and Mara was just, kind of hanging out doing anything. So every time it would pull back, I'd just be buying it, and still got a little bit, but uh, I'll get to your no Dan again. I'm sorry, Jim. He'll be back next week. He's on vacation. INOQ just kind of hanging out in this range, and boy, I thought it was gonna go this day. I was in it. I can't remember. I pretty much scratched. I think I got out of that. I got in again today because rigatoni, I call it. But Rigetti Computing was so strong out of the gates. I took a chance on it with small size, but not doing anything. And WRD is one I like to try every now and then. Had some news this morning in it, but I'll keep a short leash on that one. And then Tesla, I got fortunate. I bought this in pre-market, and then the news came out. I guess their deliveries came out. I've already sold a third of my position, but it's having trouble with this 50-day and this 200-day in that Tesla. Drake, Dan will be back on Wednesday, and I'm sure he'll have an update on the money machine because things have been going well. In our marketing meetings that we've been having, things are on pace. Uh, I know you guys having to be patient with that, but it's just it's a lot of work, and you got to make sure you get it right. And yes, we were probably a little premature, marketing it, getting your hopes up. But it will eventually get here. I don't even want to throw out a time because I don't want to, throw out a speculative date and then disappoint you. Yes, Drake. Yep, it is. It is. I mean, when we do release it, we're gonna do like a test drive and let you guys play around with it. Hey, Perfect Circle, how you doing, buddy? Uh, but we'll probably be we will be on a beta version, so there might be some bugs still in it on the beta, but at least you'll get a good feel of how it's going to work. Q's trying to go to highs. Oh, I forgot the CRNC. I it was actually one of my better scalps today. I was in it on this day right here. Anyway, it's it sold off. I bought some at the 20 period moving average on the daily, and then I scalped it out somehow for some money on that day, but and then I bought it back at the close on this day at 50, and then I was watching it and bought some more, and now I've sold 80% of my position. I'm just holding on to a little bit there, and it may not last long. What do I think of KMX? I believe that's CarMax. Yes. Now it looks good. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Doing a little bottom fishing. I wish I'd seen that today. That was a key level right there. You can see definitely a pivot level right there. So got through it. Now, what you want it to do is not fall back down in this range. Anytime you have a range like that that's broken, breaks out to the upside, uh, you prefer it not to fall back in the range. Doesn't mean it can't fall back in the range, catch the moving averages, and go again. But I'm usually one that if it does break a pivot level, you want it to stay because what happens is once it falls back down, that becomes serious resistance again. But no, looks good. I don't know how much we're gonna get now. Could just waffle around sideways. Oh, I forgot about Intel. Intel, what a nasty move this was this morning. I mean, look at that opening. Now, luckily, I stayed in it. I actually, because you're just kind of expecting, things like this. And for a whole hour, it sold off, and that's what you look for is a nice little spinning top with a tail on it. And then I bought the reversal there, uh, but I had to sell some because I have no idea. Was this just manipulation? Was it real selling? So anyway, I've still been trading it well. I still think there's a very good chance this is putting in a bottom. I don't see any reason why a stock with a 4.3 billion in the float has to trade like that. But Oh well, I'm kind of back in small size now and just letting it work itself out here and see if it can hold that 10 period moving average, which it's been doing for a couple of weeks, actually about 3 weeks. So I'd like to see it close above it, and then this could be setting up for a nice move on tomorrow. I'm not sure if anything will happen tomorrow. It's probably going to be pretty dead. Okay, Apple, you pulling back on me? Did sell a little bit of Apple today. It's to ring the bell. I like to ring the bell every now and then. There you go. That's the way you do it. Perfect circle. You catch that break, and then peel some off. How about Mogo, huh? Let's take a look. Oh, that's kind of setting up nicely there. I'm not sure what the news was, but doesn't really matter. Okay, 50 million Bitcoin investment announcement. Yeah, up 140%. I mean, I do like the way it's forming right here, but a lot of times, I see these moves, they'll fail, but it's worth a shot. I don't know if you're already in it. Hey, Three Sharp, how are you? But looking pretty good. Now you can see what's happening here. It finally caught that 10 period moving average. You see this a lot, and that this can be like a little guiding force, man, this 10 period moving average. And since that time, it's been closing above this 10 period moving average. So if I were in this, or if I bought it now, I would not want it to close a candle to close below that 10 period moving average, because for me, it's pretty much all bets are off then, because that is the kind of the guiding force right now in it. Sound. Speaking of 10 period moving averages, no, I don't. I bought this. I mean, well, you can see I've been in this thing last 3 days. I've been trading it. Now, talking about the 10 period moving average, I don't like that it's broken it right now. But I'm not a day trader, so, and I've scalped out a lot, so I don't have big size right here. So, and I still like the daily. I still think it may want to get to this level right here. Uh, but it needs to get back above this high, which is 1093, which is basically pretty close to right here. So I'm going to be a little patient with that since I have banged some good profits. Yeah, yeah, that's the 130. I don't. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix these. Let me see how easy it is to fix these indicators. I need to fix these. All right, I got the 10 volume 200. I don't need the 200 on my 15-minute. Uh, I really don't even like the 20. I like the 10, and I don't need the 50. Remove indicator. All right, let's modify this one. What color do we want? Okay, we're going to modify this one right here, and we're going to do 130 periods. All right, we'll keep the color the same. We're going to get rid of these other ones. Click OK. So that's 130 periods. Uh, and this creates what's called like a 5-day moving average. Okay, because if you broke down the 15-minute increments uh, for a whole 5 days, they would come out to be 130. 130 15-minute bars, so that creates a 5-day moving average. Really, I'm with Steve. I love this. I love that thing. It's amazing how much it'll work. But yeah, yeah, Steve and I, well, we started trading together, what, 27 years ago probably, but and then we've been in business together. We used to have a company called Today Trader. Anyway, so we both kind of have the same style. We don't use a whole lot of indicators, and the 15-minute we do like the 10, you know, 10 period EMA. Market cues are trying to go back to highs. Boy, I wish Amazon would get something going. But see, speaking of that 10 period moving average, this morning it was down, it was down. Now you got it curling back up. So, what I would like to see, if, this thing does pull back, is maybe this 10 period moving average, which is upward sloping now, will catch that and force the action higher. Maybe where it can take out this high. Here's one right here on its 10 period moving average. Okay, I got a little bit left. If it breaks it, I'll probably just call this a good scalp and get out. Okay, Drake, in the alert config window, if only checking box for NYC, Amex, NASDAQ, and OTC and pinks still show up, say, for foreign companies. Yes. I mean, if it trades as a pink, yeah, over here, even though it's an ADR, yeah, it should show up for sure. My swing trade watcher scan. I can. I sure can. Let's see. And this is tied to a global symbol list, which means you don't have to put the symbol list in your software every day. Just go ahead and create another. Yeah, this is the one I do each morning, and I put the symbol list into in our back office and into a global symbol list, which everybody has access to. So you shouldn't have to do anything. They should all pull up. Hey, Barrett, you sure can. You sure can. What you need to do, and I'll show you, give you some documents here, or our basically our user guide. It's got a nice little search function up here, and this will show you exactly how to create a strategy that you can auto trade, and it'll tell you how to create how you create and put it into your strategies. And this is where you can. It takes some time, obviously, to learn. I mean, because you got to build your basically your configuration for like entry time, your order details, your risk management. So, but it'll walk you through everything. So I'm not sure if you have, trade ideas, but if you don't, here's a great little a user guide that you can check out to see how you can create. Now, I think when you say algorithmic trading, we'll have something called the money machine if you're looking something that we actually have on our end that you can auto trade. But for right now, all you can do, you can auto trade your own strategies. Uh, that's the extent of it right now. Well, everything is just kind of waffling around right now. I've noticed. You're welcome, Brett. And so far, this CRNC is not holding his 10-period moving average. So I may look to just take the last little bit off. Even though the market is moving higher, it seems like all my stuff is kind of bleeding a little bit. Yeah, yeah, it's because it feels like the kind of market perfect circle where you just kind of now I've noticed individual stocks will pull back, even though the market may not be. Individual stocks will definitely, some of them will pull back and give you a shot to get in. It's just like this SON did for me earlier. I'd scalped out most of it and then it pulled back here. And, that's the kind of stuff you look for. It may not work, but, it's a holiday week. So, and, the market is, I don't want to say it's overextended, but it's definitely been, I would think some people may just want to, may have some selling going on right now. And that's why a lot of these stocks aren't pushing higher. That's why in a market like this, yeah, this is why, I don't run after the ones that are extended, because there can always be some profit taken, and I tend to look for some setups, uh, like this EYPT was one today, something like this that has pulled back. And this software, the way I created my homework, shows me things like this when I'm, so I didn't grab this one this morning. I had too much going on over here, but and DraftKings, I may just have to. I just got a little bit of this left. It's been a nice little trader, but I may just have to dump this if it can't. Put a little alert right there in case it pops up. But definitely not strong today. Hold your nose and jump in. Yeah, yeah, I've never been someone who chases for sure. I've always been kind of a setup guy, and sometimes they don't work. If you're too quick. Okay, there's Amazon pulling back. Let's see if it's no, it's not close to that 10-period moving average. Yeah, bear with me a little bit. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and cut the rest of this. Yeah, put a stop in it anyway. Hi, Iris. Let me see. Are you using the browser charts? These should be the browser charts, and if I probably don't know, but I'm sure Peppy will jump in. Uh, but if you're using and basically all I'm doing right now is zooming in. So if you want to make them thicker, you just if I zoom out like this, obviously they're going to be real skinny. So just hold down your control key and use your pinwheel on your mouse, and that's the way. Obviously, you can't have them thick and be looking at a lot of data. That's just common sense there. So really, the only way to do that would be to zoom in and out. Yeah, yeah. I'm lacking the sound on the daily. That's why I don't want to. I like I said, I've scalped out a lot, so I'm not gonna wig out when I'm looking maybe to swing this. It's a nice looking pattern. It looks definitely like it may want to at least go to this one. Who knows? Maybe go to that 1250 level. So I'm still a swing trader, which means uh, obviously I don't really care that much for a swing trade if it's breaking at 50. I shouldn't say that because I'm a very short-term swing trader, right? So I will sometimes, just like I'm looking at that CRNC, which so far I'm glad I didn't just punch out. And like I was mentioning the other day, a lot of times, I'll just put a stop just below, where I'm thinking about punching out. Yep, Iris, that's probably it. You guys just zoom in and out, and that'll make the difference in the width of the candles for sure. Yeah, and this CRNC, they're in the same. This is kind of why I want to give this a chance because they're in the same basically field as a sound, right? They make the AI sound components. All right, so uh, did not know that until yesterday or day before yesterday. Brian Shannon informed us. So, man, yeah, if it can take out this level, you can see that's a critical level up there too. I mean, if it can ever take out that level, make it big here. See, that's kind of a huge level right around this 11 to 11, or say call it the 1070 range. If you can ever get above that, yeah, it could be off to the races. But it is low float and it does have a high short interest too. So you got a 42 million float and you got over 20% short. So, okay, IONQ is trying to come back for me here. Now it's looking a lot better. And small size in this because it's in no man's land. It's nice that it's above its moving averages here. When running tests, I see this happen a lot when the volatility would have most likely prevented a limit fill, unless there's a way to configure market targets. Jake, I'm not sure. Are you talking about running strategies in Brokerage Plus, like you're not getting fills in paper trading mode? Yeah, yeah. Well, what you need to do is maybe move your delta. Maybe I don't know what kind of delta you're using. Yeah, if you're using a like a 3-cent delta or something like that, you're going to miss a lot. It's tricky because if you open it wide open to like 7 cents, you could be losing some slippage there for sure. But it's the best thing to do is trial and error. Just play around with it. That's the best thing to do. Just what's a great thing about paper trading, man. You can sit there and all right. Let me see what Amazon, if it's getting close to that. Yeah, it's kind of getting close to this 10 period moving average. Let's see if we can because I'm really shocked this hasn't gone, but definitely want to know if it, takes out that 2-day high, 'cause I think it probably rips if it does. Don't know if that'll happen today. Can the stops or trailing stops execute after a target limit field order is sent? No, it shouldn't. Let me know if you're getting that, because that could be a bug. Obviously, once you know, your target is executed and you no longer have a position, you know, you want to probably talk to Chris about that. He's the kind of the expert on that. He knows where the bugs are. He deals a lot with the dev department, but it should obviously, cancel that stop once your target's hit. Oh, if it doesn't feel you just said after a target limit. Now, what do you mean by after a target limit? I mean, does that mean your target was hit, or if the order is sent but not filled? When you say order was sent, so let's say I'm in Amazon and I stick a target up here at 222 to sell. So once I place that, okay, INOQ looking better. Once I place that, is that what you're meaning by sent? Or you're meaning that the target actually triggered, the execution was sent but not filled? I'm not sure. The stop shouldn't remove until the actual execution of the sale or whatever, is done. That's when, because IO and Q, guys, a little pop here. Rigatoni's going. May want to watch QBTS. I do want to add some of this. But I don't want to chase. Let's see here. I can get a pullback to 4205. There you go. Thank you, Peppy. So yeah, if the target order is not filled, the stop will remain in place. That's kind of what I was alluding at. Pep, I may have been either one. Ah, it just missed me. Looked like it got about 7 cents from me. Make sure. Sometimes you don't get it, see it all. Let me make sure I didn't get hit filled. Nope. I usually like to get filled on the first pullback. I don't like the. I'm dropping it down to 40, 41.80. You're welcome, Drake, and thank you, Peppy. I still don't trust these things though. Apple alerts. Okay, you might want to watch some of these nano nukes. If these quants get really strong, sometimes they'll spill over into the nano nukes. But gosh, they've been so tough lately. Yeah, it's just so tough. Sound did bounce. Yeah, good point, Peppy. Yeah, the orders are sent and then held at the broker. It's a pretty big pullback in Apple. I wish I'd have seen that sooner. QBTS is not really doing anything, but you can see this is what's the problem with this one, man. It's stuck under a lot of resistance, moving averages. Okay, yesterday's high was 210.19 in this Apple. So what I sold, I may just have to buy back if it gets there. I just bought some at 28. See if that yesterday high I can hold. You know what? I'm gonna can this thing. What this thing is still in a tight range. I don't see any reason why I should buy more right now and hurt my average price. I can just wait and add if it gets above this range because I think if it gets above this range, this thing's going. I can buy another 5 or 6 points. Okay, so far so good in Apple. Thoughts on wheat, Jay? Let's take a look. Good volume today. Very nice volume. You're going right up against its 20 and 10 period moving average. So one was suspect if it. I tell you, if it gets above that, definitely trying to break out of a downtrend. Put alert if it pulls back to the. I mean, you gotta buy a whole bunch of this stuff, man. Look, it only really only moves 40, 50 cents. So you really got to load up. I mean, even it's like you're only talking about less than a buck for its to make like a 6 month high. So yeah, you got to load up on that thing. But yeah, I do like the volume coming in, and I do like the fact that it's trying to get through these moving averages. You're welcome, Jay. And see if now you're still, obviously you're still in a downtrend. Uh, and if I drew a downtrend line, you're probably, it gets back, if it gets back above this 200-day moving average, then I think you're not only are you getting above the 200-day moving average, but you're also breaking a downtrend. So, 488 level, if it gets above, 490, I think, yeah, this thing could have, but you got to buy a ton of it to, which it's 460. You can afford a ton of it. Y- The U trade, no, I did not, and I still like the way this is setting up. I mean, it's just, gosh, some of these are just stubborn as heck, man. I mean, they're really weird how some of these things trade. Throw some other ARC stocks at you. Path, you know, just another one that just can't get anything going. Upwink, they get in these funks, and that's this Asan. Asan. Now Asan has been CEO has been buying up a lot of shares the last few days, and I was kind of playing off that, thinking, well, it's basing. He's buying shares, and maybe it's a good chance to get a little pop here, for 2 or 3 bucks. But I can see me punching out of this. Some of these stocks just, boy, they just don't want to move. Teladoc was one of them, but finally Teladoc is at least finally popped out of that nasty down range it's been in forever. And DNA was a call on the trader's eye. I don't know if any of you guys caught that. And I caught it and I scalped it, and then I missed the big move. I can't find it. Let me just pull it up. But look at this thing, man. And yeah, I called it on this day right here. Jeez, makes me mad. It's got a big short float. And what happens? You miss them, and you wait for a pullback, and you never get them. But yeah, to answer your question, I did not get you, but it's still intact, and I'll stick alert. I guess it needs to get above 25. If it gets above 25, and maybe it can get something going. But boy, those things are really frustrating. Okay, nice ad in Apple so far. But Amazon just don't want to doesn't want to go today. But now it's finally touching this 10 period moving average. We'll see if this thing can act as a springboard. I think this market's going to get tired though. I really want to take some profits, and I have been. Yeah, I don't want to sell my sound. Well, I'm impressed as W. Now this is obviously kind of what you talk about no man's land. And if they hadn't had that news this morning, and it was just something where they, I guess, got permits to sell this piece of crap. I don't like punching out, but I'm sick of this thing. I guess I should do it in my account first, huh? Let's put stop at 57. CRNC. See, that's why you just don't pull something up and punch out of it. Hey, Net Trade, how are you, buddy? Yeah, yeah. The stock can no, but I can basically kind of run through it right now because I'm the one that actually built that stock deposit composite rating. And what it has is about, I want to say 17 technical metrics, and then it has, I think, 4 fundamental metrics. And I'll go ahead and tell you kind of what the fundamental metrics are so you'll have a good idea because the rest are all technical. So basically what happens is it gets, let's say if a stock is above its 10 period moving average on the daily, okay, it gets X amount of points for that. If it's above its 50, X amount of points for that. Uh, it's 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 pretty complicated. Michael Moss helped me did all the actually he did all the coding and all that to improve the alert, but uh, position in 20-day range, position in 10-day range, position in 5-day range, get X amount of points based upon where you are at in those ranges. Uh, the fundamental stuff is cash to debt ratio. Okay, like this IONQ's got 588 million cash and only 17 million in debt. Okay, get some points for that. If you look up here and you see somebody, with 10 million in cash and they got 500 million in debt, probably going to take a hit with that with points. Uh, Quarterly revenue growth is one that I put in there just because I like stocks that are showing growth. Oh, my audio's going. Okay, it's this. My internet has been having a hiccup lately. Is it okay right now? Testing. Can you guys hear me? Shoot, I wonder what's okay. It's okay right now. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. You can watch my latency up here, and I don't know Spectrum, my internet. I had this issue before, and they actually had to send somebody out and put like like a splitter next to my house. Anyway, I may have to call them again because it's been doing it again. But anyway, net trade. Uh, so cash to debt ratio, quarterly revenue growth. You get points for that. Uh, earnings per share, like this IONQ probably would not get points since it probably looks like they're still losing money, at least in the last report. And then what's the other one? There's one more in there. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Seems like dividend yield you may get points for dividend yield, but the main things are cash to debt ratio, quarterly revenue growth, and earnings per share. Uh, I think both earnings per share and the PE ratio. Trying to think if there's anything else. I'm looking through this. So anyway, the lowest composite rating you can get is like 30. Okay, and the highest you can get is 100. But I think what happened is we used to have a social mention one in there that was worth for like 1 point. So maybe the highest you can get right now, since we don't have any more social mention filters, I think the highest you can get right now is 99. And a lot of times you can just pull up the composite rating and kind of get a good idea. Look at Sally Mae at the top, huh? 98. All right, you're gonna see, Sally Mae. Even though this is not that bad, a cash to debt ratio, you're basically a 1 to 2, a little bit better than that. Uh, Quarterly revenue growth is good. Uh, Earnings per share, technically, it's above all its moving averages. It's close to a all-time high, and there's just a lot of good things going on here technically, and it's very sound. I guess we got a lot. Some of these, yeah, there's pension fund. I don't know how to prevent stuff like that. Next tracker probably entered today into this. Once it popped up, through this level. TPC, just a monster. Okay, they got good cash to debt ratio, quarterly revenue growth, not huge, but and then the earnings. Maybe PE ratio is not in there. I don't know, or maybe they just didn't get a point for that. But what you're going to find when you're looking through this is, and you could build something. And maybe if you're not, so a lot of these things are going to be on all-time highs. So what you could do is, maybe if you want to, you could build one and use a stock composite rating filter and look and scan for stocks that are trading between like 80 and 90. Okay, a lot of those may be setting up for a move potentially. Uh, probably need to add this to my homework so I can get a good bit clack. It's just a monster, all-time highs. Uh, Even though they don't have the revenue growth, that's probably why they're not up there in the 96 to 98 range. But good cash to debt ratio, earnings, so a lot of huge earnings. But anyway, no, toy audio again. No, there's not gonna be relative volume, because relative volume is kind of an intraday thing, So most of this is designed for people looking for stocks that are maybe setting up on the daily and things like that. So relative volume won't be in there. Well, listen, guys, it's about that time anyway. I got to get moving on, and I don't know if you can hear me now, but if you can, have a great 4th of July. Go out and celebrate, but be careful, and have a great weekend, 4th of July weekend. And I will be around to talk to you guys next week. Next week, have a good one.